Hey everybody, how you doing? Today we talk about a documentary which I never knew even existed. I was surprised. I knew there was like a lot of Star Trek documentaries, but this one I did not know of. It's called For the Love of Spock, and it's a documentary based on Leonard Nimoy, his life, and him playing the character of Mr. Spock. And I knew Leonard Nimoy, like he got a great history though, his story, what I heard from interviews and other documentaries. And like in news like Entertainment Tonight, for example, like interviews with him, and you could tell this guy is amazing. You know, for me, I've been a Star Trek fan of the original Star Trek universe because I like Captain Kirk, I like Mr. Spock, I like all those characters, and then I started getting into Next Generation. Of course, I got into the Star Trek movies too, of course, the original ones. Not I wasn't a fan of Next Generation. I didn't care for it at the time, but and maybe the first season of Deep Space Nine. But after that, I lost interest in Star Trek. But the original Star Trek universe is to me is my Star Trek universe, you know, and the original movies that based on the original characters in the original TV series that I enjoy the most. So to see this documentary, I was like, I never knew they did a Leonard Nimoy documentary, and this took place like years ago. This documentary years ago. That's why I'm surprised I never heard of it. And this documentary was created by Leonard Nimoy's son, and and this is a good and this is a great documentary. I know I kept saying it because it is truly is a good documentary. If you're a fan of Leonard Nimoy, you definitely got to see it. You know, or a fan of Mr. Spock, or a fan of both. Definitely see it, or see it in general, just to learn from an iconic actor like Leonard Nimoy. Learn from an icon, you know, so the new generation can carry the torch. But anyway, the interviews are great. You know, you got interviews with Leonard Nimoy, of course, himself, and of course, other interviews with him that's put into this documentary. You got interviews with cast and crew from the original Star Trek universe and the new universe also. And this is like a 2 hour documentary, so it covered a lot of stuff, in my opinion. You got fans, you got celebrities, you got people behind the scenes, people that knew Leonard Nimoy, people that work on the Star Trek set, the original set, and more on Star Trek, more franchise and so on that you could tell that of his appearance of Leonard Nimoy's appearances. And you even got a background story before he became an actor. He was a hustler. The guy was an OG, bro. He was like making money building aquariums, doing vending machines. Like he was out there making money. Like, yo, Leonard Nimoy was he was a hustler, man. He was a businessman. He knows what's up, man. Like, yo, I was like amazed by this documentary. I was like, wow, I didn't know that part. See, you know, and of course you got a call to action with Leonard Nimoy with William Shatner, of course. Of course, he been interviewed for this documentary too, and the cast of The Big Bang Theory, Shelton's character, and the creator of The Big Bang Theory been interviewed. You got a lot of stuff in this documentary. It's definitely amazing. I saw. I'll say definitely see it right now. I highly recommend it. I saw this on Tubi TV, but also it's also available on. No, I'm not for my phone. Let me explain. I saw this on YouTube with the ads. But when I look at IMDb to see what year this documentary came out, just to be sure, it's also playing on Tubi TV also, so you can check this out on Tubi too. But yeah, either way, it's right there for you to watch, pretty much. Yeah, highly recommend it, and especially like this. So much, I feel like this documentary covered everything about Leonard Nimoy's life, and of course him being the Mr. Spock character, of how he got the makeup, how he got the job, the plot episode he talked about. You know, like it's like everything's covered. Trust me, you will love watching this documentary. Anyway, over and out, and peace.